This happened about 7 years ago, so won't be perfectly accurate. To set the scene, I live in the outskirts of a town at the end of terraced houses, and there are lots of houses in my area, in front and behind. I was home alone with 3 dogs. My boyfriend was over his friends, a 3-minute walk away. At this time, we didn't really lock the front door if one of us was in the house. Now I do. Nothing really happened where we lived, and we had 3 decent-sized dogs, and we were a bit naive. And to be fair, I had recently moved in here with my boyfriend, and before I lived in a small village where everyone knew everyone, and you could actually leave your door unlocked. So I was sat in my PJs, watching TV with all the dogs next to me, when the door knocks. It was about 10 p.m, and I was in my PJs, so I was a bit annoyed. I got the dogs off me and walked out of my living room and pulled the living room door closed, closing the dogs in. Bear in mind, this took me all of 10 seconds, and as I approach the door, it swings open, and this man I have never met storms into my house and gets right in my face. There is also another man and a woman right behind him who didn't enter my house. I was frozen in shock.
Who the f*** do you think you are?
Silence, still in complete shock.
You think you can run around here and do whatever you want, causing shit?
What are you on about?
Don't give me that shit. You think I'm a f***ing muppet? I saw you and all your little friends running back into this house.
I am literally stood here in my PJs. I haven't been outside.
Yeah, okay. Do you think I was born yesterday?
Well, you just walk into someone's house that you've never met before and scream at her, so yeah, maybe.
Maybe it wasn't her.
Maybe? At this point, my dog started barking behind the door. I was stood there, shaking for a few seconds, before I started to just get mad when I realized what had just happened. I lock the door and ring my boyfriend straight away, who gets home in about 1 minute flat, but the group was nowhere to be seen. We didn't call the police. I didn't want to, don't ask me why, and I couldn't really give my boyfriend a good description when he was asking. In the 7 years since, I have not bumped into these people again, thank God, and I always lock the door now. Thankfully, as we have 2 other occasions where people have come late at night, but those are other stories. However, if it did happen again, I would like to think that I would handle it better now. But rude, creepy man who stormed into my house late at night, let's not meet again.
Quite a few years ago, I was like 18 and home alone. It was the middle of the day too. I was in a weirdly productive mood, so I thought, hey, I'll fold the towels for my mom before she gets home. I walk to my kitchen where the dryer is and I take the towels out and put them on the table and start folding. After a while, I kept getting the strong feeling someone was watching me, like my stomach was churning and I was almost nauseous because the feeling was so strong. I'd look behind me and I'd see nothing. I must have turned and glanced behind me like 10 times before I decided, okay, you're being paranoid, cut it out. I decided I was going to do one final glance and ignore my feeling well in the midst of my head turn. I suddenly see what looked like a black gloved hand reach from behind and rest on my shoulder. I even felt the weight of the drop of this hand. I freaked out and dropped everything and ran to the door. Luckily, main door and kitchen are next to each other. Right when I bolted out, my mom had just pulled up in the car and saw me and how freaked out I looked and jumped out quickly and was like, "What happened? What's wrong?" I remember barely being able to talk and I said, "Someone's inside! Someone's inside!" Now I fully thought it was someone who broke into the house. I wasn't thinking anything paranormal, seeing as the glove hand I saw was solid and had weight when it rested on my shoulder. I assumed my reflexes were faster than the intruder and I got away before he was able to get a grip on me. My mom bravely walks in with her keys between her fingers ready to fight, and I'm literally just sitting on the sidewalk because I was too scared to even stand. Legs felt like actual jello. And I can hear her yelling, "Come on, come the fuck out. If you're fucking hiding, I'll find your ass." And after a few moments, she comes out and says, "There's no one inside. I checked everything in the closets, under the beds. There's no doors or windows open. Nothing." I was in denial, and I remember I refused to come inside for almost an hour. I'm 28 now, and since that day, if I'm alone in that house, I can't be in the kitchen really, especially with my back turned towards the openings to it. It took a while for my mom to stop asking me to do dishes while she was gone. I was strict in only doing what I needed to do in the kitchen while someone was home with me.
I am an insomniac, and it mostly sucks. But one summer night, insomnia most certainly saved my life. It was around 3 a.m. I was 18 at the time and home alone. I went to sleep at 12:30, so not only was I pissed I couldn't sleep, I was even getting bored. So, I thought I would just get up and watch a movie or something, and hope to feel tired soon enough, or at least to entertain myself a bit so time would pass faster. When I got out of my bed, I heard some noise coming from my bedroom window. It sounded like if something was scraping on the metal frame around my window. I went to pull the blinds in order to see if there was something, but just before I could, I heard a click coming from my window. I knew that click sound. It was the sound my window made when I unlocked it. I felt my heart skip a beat. I could not describe how much fear I was in at that moment. I now knew it was not something, but someone at my window. Then, while I was frozen in fear, I heard my window slowly and gently sliding open. I felt a mix of fear and rage. Someone was breaking in my house, into my room. I had a sword collection on my wall. I took the sharpest one and I made the blade pass in between the slides of the blind where someone would be in order to open my window. I felt that I hit someone with my blade, and I heard a short scream of pain. I took a step back and was going to hit again when I heard footsteps running away towards the street. With my sword still in hand, I pulled the blind up, but there was no one there now. I closed my window and blocked it so it would not be opened again. With the adrenaline still rushing, I took my phone and called the police while keeping an eye on my window, and another at the tip of my sword where I could see blood. Police arrived soon after and nothing else happened since. The intruder was never found. So, to whoever tried to come into my room, my house, in the middle of the night, let's not meet again.